Good afternoon on what is another warm, bright and sunny day. It is Sunday, May the 5th, and I'm in reading up with a nice hot cup of tea. Yep. And box to continue unboxing. What I've got in here is this. This is Pathfinder, the Monster Core. This is the sketch edition, if you can tell from the cover. This is for the second edition of Pathfinder. So, fight for glory. Intense battles call for intense monsters. Inside Monster Core, you'll find over 400 creatures, including fantasy classics like elves, ogres, and all new dragons, wild animals from giant ants to ferocious wolves, and unique monsters that threaten the world of Pathfinder, like sin spawn and noxious needlers. These creatures cover all levels of play, from the slow and mindless zombie shambler to the ultra-powerful demonic Trirazar. This collection is an ideal resource for game masters planning their next battles and player characters looking for monstrous allies to summon. So, we've been gaming for 50 years, it being 2024, and over the years there have been lots of bestiaries, most obviously beginning with the monsters listed in the original Dungeons & Dragons, and then of course in the Monster Manual. But every kind of core fantasy game needs its own bestiary, and Paizo's Pathfinder is no exception. It's already had one for the previous edition, and there's been numerous bestiaries for it since. So we have that really nice, colourful inside cover, and then we've got that actual cover, giving you sort of slightly muted colours there, but still in colour as opposed to the sketch cover. And then we have a table of the list of all the entries. It's all alphabetical, so there's almost no real need for an index as such, because this actually works as an index. Before we get into introduction, basically how to play the creatures and how to read their stats, and you have a breakdown of the monster entries listings there. And so, basically, then it's got a guide to. It's got a content warning, essentially. So it's essentially, so there, plus a guide to role-playing the creatures, basically making them more than just mindless fodder. Although some of them are going to be mindless fodder, but as well as that, these creatures are malleable, adjustable. So you've got a guide on there to how to adjust the creatures up or down, make them more powerful or less powerful, according to the needs of the scenario or campaign you're running, or the player characters that they are facing, or the player, or what the characters are facing, and then details on languages, skills and perceptions, proficiencies, and so on, along with notification of what you've got, the little icons there for the sidebars, which include additional lore, advice, rules, locations, related creatures, and treasure and rewards. So that's it. Really, the rules themselves, even if you could call them rules, barely take up 3 pages, and then you are on to the first of the monster entries, which is the Aeon. So there we go. Not looking, well, how can I put it? It's a bit modern-like, that one, to begin with. I'm just turning over the page, and you've got sort of like a section there on Aeon divinities, and the full stats, the arbiters, and then it's working your way through the list of that type of creatures of the Aeons, and so on. So all nice and clear, accompanied by this really nice artwork, and you can just flick through this over and over, just. And in many cases, because I don't play Pathfinder, and I've only played it a couple of times, there's been talk of actually playing some of it. Some of these creatures are going to be new to me. Of course, the angel isn't, but this variation upon it will be will be new to me, in the different forms of it. I'll literally just flip it forward. So we have animated objects, a range of those. So it is a case of just flipping forward and seeing what we've got, like that. I have no idea what that is. Deep in the sea, schools of Athmaru Piscine humanoids armed with spears and specialized crossbows stalk sharks, sea serpents, and giant squid from the backs of their giant moray eel mounts. Great. Okay. Gives you some idea. And you've got ordinary animals as simple as a bear and a bat, beetle and boar, and then but classics in there like the bugbear. So I'll show you that. That's that variation. Bugbear, a little bit dark. And then things like that. Let's see what else we've got. Just flipping forward. There's the cockatrice. Really nicely, looks quite a scrawny looking horrid thing. No, so far we've got Cyclops, and then that's the greater Cyclops, or great Cyclops I should say. Daemons, various types. And that's, so for example, actually I've got demons in there as well, so that's the succubus, or succubus, and Darrow, dwarfs, the sort of like the deep dwarfs as it were, devils. Dinosaurs, and you can see that these are definitely feathered and brightly coloured, like that. And it does actually have a Brontosaurus in there. Let's see. Oh, and finally we can get onto dragon. So, horned dragons, mirage dragons, omen dragons, and so on. So there isn't sort of like, there's kind of been an interesting mix of dragons there, unexpected, completely sort of unlike what you would normally see in a fantasy role-playing game. And I mean, that's obviously because it can't look like the actual other big role-playing game that this is closest to, because ultimately it's really derived from Dungeons and Dragons 3.5 and third edition, going in its own direction. Elementals. So it does all look like its own thing, its own identity, and that's great. Especially if you're using the world, the setting for, the Paizo's Pathfinder setting of Golarion. Here we've got the ghoul, and there's much more civilized versions of the ghoul than you would normally expect. And then we've got giants. and gnomes. So you've actually got quite a jolly version of the gnome, and then you've got a basically a darker version, the umbral gnome warrior. Goblins, of course, because the goblins are the signature creatures of Pathfinder. You know, they're the ones you're going to see in adventures. They're the ones you're going to see in sort of like, I could put it sort of like in as like an iconic figure, as it were. And that's been the way since essentially the first adventures. You go back all the way back to the adventure paths for from Paizo. So we find there's the Hellhound, and kobolds, see Lamia, and so yeah, let's just and then the Leshy, which sort of appeared and was one of the signature, the sort of like the character races that you could play, especially in the free RPG Day releases. And then we've got the classic Lich. And as you can see, the nice thing is the fact that as you go through the book, you've got the indication there of where you are in the book, which section. I mean, obviously, that's just a nice addition. Oh, I'd look at the Lamia, but I didn't show you. As I did show you the kobolds. Yeah, I like the kobolds. And again, a more kind of civilized version of the Medusa. Let's go forward to another classic of this genre. Oh, there's the creature mentioned on the cover. That's the Noxious Needler. You know, almost looking a bit like, I don't know, almost does recommend me sort of like the Headless Horseman sort of thing, but it's not, because it actually does have a head. It's sort of spaceship, got that kind of weird globe thing. And ogre, and oozes. Always wanted to play, of all things, a druid who works with oozes as his choice of beasts. Here we go. There's the orcs. Friend was planning to run the Night Below campaign for second edition Dungeons and Dragons, but never got round to it. We keep nudging him about it occasionally. And even a psychopomp. So yeah, I mean, there's a red cat. I really like that little hunched creature. Just the troll. So you've got a really good mix of monsters and creatures in here. So we get down to the vampire, and there's the rules on how to create a vampire and build a vampire. So essentially, build a vampire, create a vampire, and sort of like discussing them as sort of like as the notion of the noble dead. And then we've got some examples included as well. See if I can find the other creature they mentioned on the back cover. So just flipping through. Yeah, I got past it here. Here we are, the tree raiser. Let's have a look. Yeah, 550 hit points. And then I think that with arrows essentially is, and they've got details of sort of like the black axe, which is the weapon this creature is wielding. That does not look good. And last, of course, entry we've got is a zombie, and then we have, including both zombie, shambler, and brute. We have a glossary of all the abilities, so we've got more rules at the back, but that's to help the game master understand the various aspects of your monsters. List of creative traits, or sorry, creature traits, not creative traits, an entirely different thing. And then associated rituals, languages, all to do with your monsters. With types of monsters by listing, creatures by level. And then you've got adverts, of course, for the GM core for Pathfinder, and so on. Yeah, you've got an advert for forthcoming World Guide, and that then, with that artwork in the back cover, as in the front, inside front cover, is the Monster Core for Pathfinder 2nd Edition. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this unboxing of the Nook. If you have, then please do click on the like button down below. And of course, if you've got any comments or feedback, I do appreciate you taking the time to post those. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to get more unboxings of the Nook, where you will see me out here with a box containing a book or game, or in this case, a monster or bestiary book for Pathfinder 2nd Edition, which I will unbox and chat about to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, all of course accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea, then please do click on the subscribe button down below. Thanks again for watching another unboxing of the Nook. I will be back again soon with another one. Bye for now.